Okay, let's dive in. Welcome back, everyone.
Good to be here.
We're digging into today's Grok Trade Daily Market Summary. That's for June 4th, 2025.
Right. And the goal, as always, is to pull out the key stuff, understand what's really moving things today.
Exactly. Building on, what we looked at yesterday, like that softer wholesale price data. That still seems to be playing a role in the background.
Definitely. The source today paints a picture of, well, a quiet day overall, but with interesting details under the surface.
Like what specifically?
Well, stocks were mixed. Crypto is showing those patterns, the ones we've been tracking. And metals, well, the source did some pretty significant moves there since we last checked in.
Okay, so not a huge headline day, but the nuances matter. Let's start with stocks then. The summary says it was pretty subdued.
Yeah, quite subdued. The SPY finished basically flat.
After trying to rally earlier.
Exactly, it faded. Meanwhile, you had the Dow and the Russell 2000. They both slipped a bit, down around 0.27, 0.28%.
But the NASDAQ managed to gain.
The small one, yeah. Up 0.28%. So kind of a split picture.
And the source sees that split as investors being, what, selective?
Pretty much. Picking their spots. There wasn't big economic data today, so they're still sort of digesting things.
Like that hope for Fed rate cuts later on.
Exactly. Fueled by things like those May wholesale prices we mentioned from yesterday's discussion.
Right. So it creates this kind of cautious vibe, almost like the market's just pausing.
Holding its breath, maybe, waiting for the next catalyst. Choppy action, like the source says.
Okay, makes sense. Let's shift over to crypto then, Bitcoin specifically. The source mentions a pattern we flagged before.
That's right. Bitcoin was down slightly today, maybe 0.58% or so.
Okay.
But the key thing is its movement, inside this downward channel. The source describes it looking like a bull flag pattern.
Okay. We have talked about that one. And the critical question is,
can it hold? Can it find support on that lower trend line?
Because if it breaks below.
The source thinks it could lead to a pretty quick sell-off.
And the source gets into the psychology there, right, at those key levels.
Yeah, it's fascinating. You might have newer traders buying that dip, seeing the pattern support.
While longer-term holders might be thinking,
maybe take some profits here, use the bounce, so you get that tension.
Tension at a pattern boundary, always important. Okay, metals. The source notes it's been a couple of days since we looked closely.
Right, and there's been action. Silver dipped a bit today, 0.32%, but it's paused.
Paused where?
Just under major resistance, around $31.80. This is interesting because it comes after that big surge past $30.60 on Monday.
Yes, that $30.60 level. We had been eyeing that one. That was quite a move Monday.
Definitely. And gold, on the other hand, was actually up today, 0.64%.
Okay.
And the source highlights it's consolidating, forming an ascending triangle pattern.
Another pattern to watch.
Exactly. They recommend keeping a close eye on that one. So even on a quiet day, you see these specific patterns, these levels, becoming really critical.
Make or break points?
Kind of feels like it. And the source adds a layer here, mentioning that things might be stalling a bit because indicators are maybe showing overbought conditions.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, and there was that recent spike in the VIX, too. The fear gauge.
Right. So a bit more anxiety creeping in, perhaps?
Seems plausible. And dealing with markets like this, where patterns are so defined, levels are critical, and you've got these background caution signs like overbought readings or a jumpy VIX.
It demands discipline.
Precision and discipline, absolutely. Right. Which, ties into why the source emphasizes having clear strategies. Risk management, trade setups, the description in the summary about their Grok Trade mentorship, the personalized coaching, technical analysis focus, evidence-based stuff, community support until you recoup the investment.
Yeah.
It feels very relevant for you trying to navigate a day like today, trying to trade with more confidence in these conditions.
It really does zero in on needing to see those patterns and levels clearly. Okay,
right.
So let's recap quickly. Stocks were mixed. SPY flat, basically. The economic calendar was light, but that Fed rate cut optimism is still kind of simmering.
Right. Bitcoin's testing that crucial bull flag support line we've been watching.
Silver's paused just under that $31.80 resistance after Monday's big pop past the level we noted.
And gold is consolidating in that ascending triangle pattern. So maybe here's something for you, the listener, to think about.
Okay.
How much does the psychology influence things? The fact that traders see these patterns, buy at support, sell at resistance. Does that act itself reinforce the price action? How does that collective psychology at these chart points shape what happens next?
That's a great question to mull over as you look at things yourself. All right, thanks for joining us for this deep dive.
My pleasure.
Take these insights, think about how they fit your view, and we'll catch you next time.